Mangonani Mwalelepo Vukendani Klekwa Svanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Mbedi. These are some of the stories that we're looking at today in South Africa. More than 100 undocumented foreign nationals were arrested in KwaZulu-Natal. Namibia to cull 83 elephants and distributes meat to people affected by drought, and hundreds of migrants swim into Spain's Ceuta enclave from Morocco. DSTV 205, GoTV 25 and OneUp2.com is precisely where you can find us. Top stories shortly.
Entries are now open for the second round of Republicane's Bridal Couple of the Year competition. Couples married between 1 June and 31 August have until 30 September of this year to enter the second round of the competition. Another one of the top 10 couples will be chosen from this pool to participate in the final, taking place in May 2025. To better your chance of reaching the final, enter now. To enter, simply WhatsApp #Bridal2025 to 085 785 6231 and follow the on-screen instructions or scan this QR code.
We start our top stories in South Africa, where at least 123 undocumented foreign nationals were arrested during an early integrated operation in KwaZulu-Natal. The multidisciplinary operation involving the South African Police Service, Metro Police, Correctional Services, Home Affairs and other law enforcement agencies also saw the recovery of counterfeit US dollars equivalent to 4.1 million rand at Point Durban CBD. Police spokesperson Colonel Robert Nishwinda said the operation was at Stamping Authority of the state and raiding hijacked buildings in and around the Durban CBD. 6 buildings were raided and one of them was found to be a municipality-owned building which was illegally occupied, and a person who was allegedly collecting rent money from illegal residents of that building was taken in for questioning. Now, Namibia plans to cull 723 wild animals, including 83 elephants, to distribute the meat to people struggling to feed themselves because of a severe drought across southern Africa, the Environment Ministry said. The cull will take place in parks and communal areas where authorities believe animal numbers exceed available grazing land and water supplies, it said in a statement. Southern Africa is facing its worst drought in decades, with Namibia having exhausted 84% of its food reserves last month, according to the United Nations. Nearly half of Namibia's population is expected to experience high levels of food insecurity in the coming months. With such a severe drought, human-wildlife conflicts are expected to increase if the authorities do not intervene, the Environment Ministry said. To this effect, 83 elephants from identified conflict areas will be culled. Meat will be allocated to the drought relief program, it said. Now, in our next story, in an inspection of filling stations, it was revealed that some motorists receive less fuel than they pay for. This is in Eswatini. This was due to the fuel pumps not dispensing fuel equivalent to the quantity the motorists had paid for. The pumps were found to have failed the measurement test. This is contained in the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade Quarterly Performance Report, which was debated by the Senate Portfolio Committee. These fuel pumps, according to the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Makloba Khumalo, were discovered during inspections that were carried out by the Weights and Measures Department under the ministry that is in Eswatini. Now, thousands of migrants have attempted to cross the border from Morocco to the Spanish enclave of Ceuta in the last few days, including hundreds of youth who tried to swim their way around controls, Spanish authorities said. Videos broadcast on Spanish media over the weekend showed Spanish police intercepting migrants in the water at night amid a thick fog, but also in broad daylight, struggling to separate the new arrivals from crowds of beachgoers. Now, Cristina Perez, the Spanish government's representative in Ceuta, told journalists that since August 22, an average of 700 people had attempted to breach the border daily, with a peak of 1,500 attempts. Now, Perez did not disclose how many had successfully reached Ceuta, but Perez explained that following Spanish law that allowed for border rejections, authorities were sending back to Morocco between 150 and 200 people a day. Now, Donald Trump's presidential campaign has received an official endorsement from Tulsi Gabbard, a former congresswoman who ran to be a Democratic candidate for the presidency in 2020 before distancing herself from the party. Trump welcomed Gabbard, 43, to a stage in Detroit in the key swing state of Michigan. Now, Gabbard quit the Democratic Party in 2022, complaining of its quote-unquote wokeness, and has since become a regular and outspoken guest on Fox News. She appeared alongside Trump to commemorate U.S. service personnel killed in an attack in Afghanistan 3 years prior, using it as an opportunity to criticize the Biden administration. Appearing at Monday's event in Michigan, Gabbard said she was appealing to Democrats, Republicans, and independents alike to pick Trump at the ballot box in November, saying it was a matter of saving our country and serving the people. Her official backing of Trump marks the culmination of a remarkable political journey over the last decade that began on the progressive left of the Democratic Party. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. We bring you more interesting stories after the break.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
All right, it's time for us to talk to Ari Hochad as he brings us the news stories from South Africa. Good morning, Ari. How are you?
Yes, very good morning, Ashwin. Yes, nice to talk to you from Cape Town. We had lots of rain, but seems like it's done for today.
All righty. Let's get straight into your stories, Ari. We start off with the GNU. It has been 8 weeks since the formation of the Government of National Unity, and the South African economy seems to be on an upward trend.
Yes, Ashwin, everybody we're holding their breath in what's the Government of National Unity going to look like. So that's some of the coins and the notes. The economy very important. It seems like internationally investors are settling in and quite comfortable on what's happening in South Africa. There's lots to do, lots happening behind the scenes. It seems like it's working together. The Secretary General of the ANC, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, he admitted, he said that the DA and the ANC, there's Mr. Mbalula, said the DA and the ANC is actually like oil and water. So it's not an easy process that you can respect and understand the totally different manifestos working together for the country now. And then obviously you have the EFF and the MK party on the other side. that's challenging lots of the processes. But at the moment, the rand went to good heights, so to speak. It's 17 rand 73. It's still very high. If you look at it in context, 10 years ago, the rand dollar was 10 rand 50. Now it's 17.73. So it's kind of depreciated roughly 6% per year over the last 10 years. So the economy of South Africa has been under pressure, but it seems to be recovering a bit. So at the moment, realities on the political front for South Africa for stability is that everybody's watching how the MK party will develop, with Mr. Floyd Shivamba moving over from the EFF to the MK party. He's going to be the national organizer, so that's something they need urgently. In fact, the MK party have 15% votes in South Africa, but they don't have a manifesto, so they kind of voted for a person, mostly in the former President Jacob Zuma. So it is now time for them to stand up a little bit stronger on what they stand for. Interesting reality now for the politics in South Africa is that the EFF and the MK party obviously not quite keen on each other at the moment, with Floyd Shivamba moving over. So they were, as the GNU were formed, they were going to be the kind of the official opposition. So let's see how organized they are in that. But at the moment, it's quite stable, and there seems to be good progress in working together.
All right, Ari. All right, yeah, let's certainly see how that one unfolds. Now, an international study shows that online retail has grown by 29% in the last 12 months in South Africa.
Yes, it's probably a trend worldwide, and I think also it seems like the COVID-19 and all the being at home also kind of got people onto their computers and understood they can buy in different ways. That's Takealot, one of the options, obviously. Takealot only grew by 6%, they said, over this period, but the online retail surged to 71 billion South African rand. It's a 29% increase year on year, so it's a big increase. So there's lots of options online for South Africans, and the one big component that did help that is MasterCard also indicated that they've made good progress on transactions being secure online. So that's always a challenge. That is Gabriel Swanepoel, the Southern African head of MasterCard, that confirmed that. But one big component in South Africa at the moment is home deliveries. That's exploded. So you have options like Checkers 6060, so you can buy all your groceries, you can buy anything. They bring it for you in a little motorcycle, and that's very convenient, obviously. They grew 63% year on year, and Pick n Pay, one of the other retailers, obviously, as well, 76% they grew, and even Woolies Food, 47%. So the e-commerce growing quite a bit, and there's an indication that it will be good for the economy in terms of job creation as well. The studies show that there will probably be in the next 10 years 340,000 more jobs on the e-commerce that will be created because of this growth. So the problem then is you lose other jobs as well. If that grows too much, then you have the man walking into the shop, that's going to be less. So that is a bit of that will probably balance out over time in terms of that.
All right. Now, for some relatively, positive economic news to some not so positive news. This is for Sea Harvest, South Africa's leading seafood business. They have declared a dip in earnings as they battle to meet demand.
Yes, they've been battling to catch their quota. So the catches were not great. They're on to 50% of what they're allowed to catch. So it is mostly the white fish that they talk about, the hake and the cod. So that's one of the big boats. And they said that they have two reasons that they didn't have good results so far in the last 6 months. They declared it. It was smaller catches, so specifically for the hake, and then a higher interest rate on debt. So that's also for them a challenge as well. There's also a lower demand of abalone in China, and that's also an effect on their revenue. So the revenue is still up 3% to 33 billion South African rand in the 6 months. So it's a big industry, lots of money created by this. But there's one market that they yet to tap into. They investigating that, and that is United States. So at the moment, Sea Harvest not exporting to the United States, and there's a big opportunity there for them because of the United States not allowing countries like Russia to export to them. So the price of hake at the moment and cod is very high. So they just need to get better catches, so to speak, to supply to the demand.
All right. Yes, if it doesn't work with one BRICS member, why not chat with the other? Now, the Paralympics start today in Paris, and Team South Africa hopes for good success and many medals.
Yes, I think it's likewise all over Southern Africa, and yes, it was a very successful Olympic Games. Now it's the Paralympics that starts today, actually, and it's going to be 4,400 athletes in 22 different sports disciplines that will be in action there. South Africa's got a team of 37 members, so always South Africa have had good success in the Paralympics. In the 4 years ago, South Africa got 7 medals. That was 4 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze. So hopefully they can even better that. There's athletes competing in archery, also athletics. Obviously, that's always very exciting. Cycling, then also equestrian, swimming, and wheelchair tennis, to mention quite some of them. So that's some of the basketball action. And so good luck to all the athletes for South Africa, and obviously for Southern Africa and Namibia as well. And hopefully it will be a successful Olympics, Paralympics 2024 in Paris.
Yes, indeed. We'll certainly be keeping an eye on those games. Thank you very much, Ari, for bringing us the news stories from South Africa.
Big pleasure, Ashwin, and brilliant day for everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, cheers. Let's have a look at the weather predictions before we return with economic news.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
We start off our economic news stories in Mozambique, where the president of the Republic of Mozambique, President Filipe Nyusi, said that the country had from 2019 to 2023 received around $10 billion in investment and asked business people to diversify the destinations of national exports. We recorded a flow of diversified investments of more than $10 billion between 2019 and 2023, directed to the sectors of energy with 40%, tourism with 18%, industry with 15%, services 14%, and construction with around 5%. The Mozambican president said during the opening of the 59th edition of the Maputo International Fair, taking place in Maputo province until Sunday. Filipe Nyusi highlighted that a large part of the investment in Mozambique during the period in question was the result of the Economic Acceleration Measures package, highlighting the reduction of value-added tax and the exemption of visas for 29 countries in 2022. Now, the Botswana Air Access Project, as it is known, is a collaborative national destination initiative focused on improving international air access to the country and aims to positively impact tourism, investment and trade. The project is led by the Civil Aviation Authority of Botswana in collaboration with the Botswana Tourism Organization, the Botswana Investment and Trade Center, Business Botswana, the Travel Agents Association of Botswana, and the Hospitality and Tourism Association of Botswana. The partners recently signed a memorandum of understanding to initialize the project. Speaking at the MOU signing, CAAB CEO Dr. Bao Mosinyi said Botswana's strategic location and its potential as a high-potential business hub has not gone unnoticed by investors. Let's have a look at the economic indicators just before Ari swings back with the sport.
Entries are now open for the second round of Republicane's Bridal Couple of the Year competition. Couples married between 1 June and 31 August have until 30 September of this year to enter the second round of the competition. Another one of the top 10 couples will be chosen from this pool to participate in the final taking place in May 2025. To better your chance of reaching the final, enter now. To enter, simply WhatsApp #Bridal2025 to 085 785 6231 and follow the on-screen instructions or scan this QR code.
Thank you for staying with Africa. Good morning. Do make sure you catch our daily sport wrap show at 3:30 p.m. on NTV, making sure that you catch all the very latest sport news, and Ari will swing by there with the global sports stories. These are a couple of the highlights from this morning's broadcast. At least 123 undocumented foreign nationals were arrested during an early integrated operation in KwaZulu-Natal yesterday morning. The multidisciplinary operation involving the South African Police Service, Metro Police, Correctional Services, Home Affairs and other law enforcement agencies also saw the recovery of counterfeit US dollars equivalent to 4.1 million rand. And Namibia plans to cull 723 wild animals, including 83 elephants, and to distribute the meat to people struggling to feed themselves because of a severe drought across southern Africa, the Environment Ministry said. Those have been our stories on Africa Good Morning. DSTV 285, Core TV 25, 1up2.com is precisely where you can find us. From me, Ashwin Bedi, and the Africa Good Morning team, Sweraja Kanaka.